The dominant feeling you live with every day was chosen for you, by you. You just don't remember casting the vote. It's the emotional background radiation of your life. That low hum of anxiety, or frustration, or maybe just a vague sense of waiting. By the end of this video, you will understand the hidden architecture of that default state and the precise mechanical process for rebuilding it from the foundation up. This isn't about forcing positivity or pretending you feel something you don't. And unless you grasp this mechanism, you will spend your entire life solving surface-level problems, while the very lens you see reality through remains tinted with the one feeling you're trying to escape. Your nervous system has a home base. It's an emotional set point, a familiar frequency it constantly returns to. Think of it like a thermostat in a house. You might have moments of joy that heat the room up, or bad news that cools it down, but the thermostat is programmed to a specific temperature. Sooner or later, the air conditioning or the heating kicks in to pull the environment back to its default setting. For many people, that default setting is some flavor of stress. It's the feeling they know best. It's home. When things go too well for too long, they start to feel uneasy. They unconsciously look for a problem or create one just to get back to the familiar tension. The brain has a brutal logic for this. It prefers predictable misery over unfamiliar happiness. This preference seems insane from the outside. Why would any system choose a negative state over a positive one? Because your brain's number one job is survival. And survival is based on prediction. A familiar negative state, like low-grade anxiety, is a known quantity. The brain has survived it 1,000 times before. It knows the rules of that game. A new, unfamiliar state of deep calm or sustained joy is an unknown variable. The brain has less data on it. From a purely survivalist perspective, the unknown is more dangerous than the familiar bad. It's a glitch in our wiring, a holdover from a time when an unfamiliar feeling might mean an unfamiliar predator was nearby. This drive for predictability creates a powerful feedback loop. Your current emotional state acts as a filter for your perception. If your home base is anxiety, your brain will actively scan the environment for things to be anxious about. It's a pattern matching machine. It needs to find evidence to justify its current feeling. You're not seeing reality. You're seeing the evidence that confirms your emotional state. It's like wearing colored glasses. When you're wearing blue glasses, the world looks blue. You don't question the glasses. You just think, wow, it's a blue day today. This confirmation loop is why trying to break out of a negative state with logic alone so often fails. You can't outthink a filter you're looking through, but scientists studying how the brain simulates the future found the key to breaking this cycle. And it has everything to do with rehearsal. Our brains are prospective. They are constantly running simulations of what might happen next. This is where you can intervene. The process is about deliberately choosing a desired emotional state and then rehearsing it as if you were an actor preparing for a role. An actor doesn't just read the lines for confident leader, they walk like them. They breathe like them, they sit like them. They run the internal feeling of confidence through their body over and over again in rehearsal until it becomes second nature. On opening night, they aren't acting confident, they have embodied it. This is the work. Choosing a single, specific, useful emotional state, like calm clarity or unshakable resolve, and rehearsing the feeling of it. This practice is far from faking it. It's neurological training. You are carving new pathways. You are giving your brain a new viable option for its home base. And this changes more than just your mood. It changes what you are capable of seeing an opportunity that looks like a terrifying risk from a state of anxiety, looks like a thrilling adventure from a state of curiosity. The external event is the same. The filter it passes through determines your reality. So how do you practice a feeling that seems completely alien to you? You don't start with your mind, you start with a command your body is forced to obey. Your body is the unconscious mind made visible. Every emotion has a corresponding physical posture, a breathing pattern, a degree of muscle tension. You can't think your way into a new feeling, because the old feeling has your body in a chokehold. The mind follows the body's lead. So you give the body a physical instruction. Forget happiness for a moment. That's too abstract. Instead, choose a feeling like relief. What is the physical signature of relief? It's the deep exhale after a crisis is averted. It's the dropping of your shoulders from up around your ears. It's the unclenching of your jaw. You can generate these physical sensations right now, on command. Drop your shoulders, take the slowest, deepest breath you've taken all day. Let your jaw go slack. Hold that physical state for just 1 minute. The feeling of relief begins to follow the physical instruction. This is the rehearsal. You set aside 5 minutes a day to physically embody the state you wish to inhabit. How would a person who feels profound gratitude breathe? What would their posture be as they walk across a room? How would they hold their hands? You practice the physicality until the corresponding emotion begins to percolate. Critics might argue this is just a placebo, that you're just posturing. And they'd have a point if the brain made a clear distinction between a vividly imagined event and a real one. It doesn't. When you vividly and physically rehearse a state, your brain fires in patterns that are almost identical to living the real thing. You are building the neural hardware for your new home base, brick by brick. This process is effective, but it has a side effect that catches almost everyone off guard. As your new state becomes more familiar, your old life starts to feel deeply uncomfortable. This friction is the sign that it's working. As you begin to consistently inhabit a new emotional home base, say, one of quiet confidence, the parts of your life that were built to sustain your old anxiety will start to feel wrong. The friend group, whose primary way of bonding is complaining, will suddenly feel draining. The job that runs on manufactured urgency will seem absurd. The media you consume to validate your outrage will feel like poison. This discomfort is the critical turning point. Most people interpret this friction as a sign of failure. They think, this is too hard, it feels unnatural, I should go back to how things were. They mistake the discomfort of growth for a sign they're on the wrong path. It's like a lobster shedding its too small shell. It's an intensely vulnerable and uncomfortable process. The lobster has to hide while its new, larger shell hardens. You have to protect your new state from an environment that was custom built for the old you. You have to be willing to disappoint the people who preferred the anxious, compliant, or frustrated version of you. Because what's happening is a change at the level of identity, you eventually stop being an anxious person trying to be calm. The effort vanishes. You simply are a calm person. That becomes your new thermostat setting. It becomes your new normal. This leads to a fundamental reevaluation of who you believed you were. The person you call me is largely a bundle of chronically practiced emotional states and the thoughts they generate. Your personality is a habit. It's a story you've repeated so many times that it feels like an unchangeable fact. But it's a story written in pencil, not stone. The belief that I am an anxious person is a powerful spell. It forces you to act in ways that prove it true. The most radical act of self-creation is to stop defining yourself by the feelings that were programmed into you, and to start defining yourself by the state you are deliberately choosing to practice. This isn't about denying your past or ignoring real challenges. It's about deciding that your past emotional patterns will no longer be the sole author of your future. It's about picking up the pencil and starting a new chapter, knowing that the first few drafts will feel clumsy and inauthentic. You are the architect of your personality. The problem is, you've been letting the old blueprints build the new rooms. It's time to draw a new floor plan. And this same process of deliberate rehearsal, of embodying a future state before it arrives, explains why some people can acquire new skills with staggering speed. Their emotional state gives them access to a different quality of learning.